I think one of the final questions that we're going to kind of get into here is, obviously everybody now knows you finally have a big-time program coming in here being Georgia Tech, but you also have home games against Northern Arizona and UTC, and you have road games going to Iowa State, to Creighton, to Fordham. How are those games, both home and away, going to help manufacture or brand Kennesaw State? You're getting to go to different parts of the country that we may not be known, and to show everybody what exactly this small school just north of Atlanta has.
Well, and that's got to be earned, Jeff, and I appreciate that. We like to play a good schedule, and we like to let people know Kennesaw State and people in the basketball world pretty much. I mean, we've had great recognition from winning the national championship, obviously. And then we've had some success and people that keep up and watch. I mean, 3 out of 4 years in reclassification period, we was nationally ranked in steals defensively. So people follow stats; they know it. And we've got a few articles here and there, in Basketball Times. Kyle Wellingston, the guy that wrote the book, gave us some pub at ESPN.com, and people are going to see our name on a ticker a lot for the last 5 years. I just think where we are now, we just got to keep working and then, break through and have a good win over a good solid, school and then show the consistency in conference, where one day we can win a championship and fulfill another dream of mine is taking a team to the NCAA tournament. But it's tough. We're a one-bid league. Mm-hmm. We're not in a conference where you can finish sixth and go NCAA tournament. So it's tough, I tell people all the time, it's tough as my mother-in-law's homemade biscuits. It's just tough. But we did choose to play. Someone said, I think Scott Lipsky, our SID, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it was Scott, that said that we're playing like 10 teams from different conferences. Think about that. There's 10 conferences in this country. We're playing somebody in one of those kind of conferences. If I'd have to look at the schedule. I ain't really looked at it that closely, but we don't mind going on the road and playing people. But I'm real proud of the fact that we do have, some good games home, so our home fans can see it. It's hard to do that. And I do want to say this because I've talked to some booster groups and civic groups here the last few weeks, and Georgia Tech's a big game, and there's no question in my mind that it's the biggest game that's ever been on campus. And obviously, it should be attendance record. It should be a record-breaking crowd. Personally, I like to see Georgia Tech fans not even get a seat. I wish they'd come and sit outside. I could care less. This is Kennesaw State. This is what we do. We're a basketball team. And we had the biggest game ever on this campus. I was lucky, fortunate to be a part of it. And that's when we won the region championship to put us in the Elite Eight in Bakersfield, California, Division II. I cannot ever take anything away from those teams because they did the best with what was in front of them. And they're competing and they're challenging. This is the biggest game since Division I, if not the history of the school. It's a big game. And our fans, our boosters, our faculty, and everybody, they need to come and support. It really means a lot. But I also share this with people. We got UTC laying in the weeds 2 days later. Georgia Tech's not our whole schedule. We got 30 more games. We got Georgia Tech, but at that time we will have like 29 more games left, plus a tournament. So, I understand Georgia Tech, but also, we got UTC 2 days later. And then we travel, go to Alabama State. We come back next Monday and play Northern Arizona. And Northern Arizona's had some good success. They've been big in that Big Sky. So, but we're bringing a lot to basketball here at Kennesaw State University. I think we've got the kind of kids that people want to pull for and want to support. I think we got good kids. They're humble. Y'all had them on. Were they cocky?
No, not at all.
Huh?
Not at all.
I think we got guys that are good and humble, and they don't walk around here like there's some, they're something special. Yeah. But we all are something special, and that's what we tell them. And, hey, you might be a great basketball player, but have car trouble. Mm-hmm. Let somebody you don't know how to work on cars, but he's the king, So, but we got good kids, we really do, and I think that'll come out on the court once we get playing.
And one thing with everybody we had in the most consistent word was team out of their mouths, and it's a team effort, and they know they're going to have to win it together as a team.
Brandon, that don't just happen. That's a lot of hard work to pull that about, and it's not just people this year. It's guys that's been in the program before, like Petey Whipple and J. Mac Nickerson, you know, and then the coaches or and the captains, and everyone understands this is a team game. I was flying back from Utah recruiting the other day, and I was with a Supreme Court justice guy, and he's sitting there right beside me. And one of the things he told me, he said, one of the things I look at before I hire people is what kind of team sport did they play. And I said, what level? Division I, you know, because that would, you know, reduce the field. He said, no, I don't care if they played a team sport in elementary school, in junior high, in high school, junior, whatever. Being a part of a team sport, he felt like, and I do too, that it teaches you more than an individual sport.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not cutting individual sports. I mean, yeah, I like golf too. I'm just not good at it.
Do you still get nervous?
Beg pardon?
Do you still get nervous coaching?
Do I feel like I get nervous?
Yeah.
Or do I get nervous? Yeah. Absolutely, I get nervous. I get nervous. You know, when I give, you know, I think a lot of people know that, you know, I've been a professional speaker, national members, you know, member of the National Speaker Association, and I get nervous every time I go up for a group, and now that's nervous.
Mm-hmm.
But before a game, I'm about to die. I can't. I mean, I get nervous. I can stand in front of 1,000 people and talk like, you know, Johnny be good.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, I get nervous. Yes, I'm nervous because I don't know what's in these guys' heads.
Mm-hmm.
These guys 18, 19, 20 years old, 21, and then I walk out and I see a referee, and I might have had him 2 nights before, and we got beat, and I go, oh my gosh. Or last time we had him, he didn't, you know. And then I get nervous like it is the crowd, and then I get nervous, energy and excitement because it's a big day for us, and I want them to do good.
Mm-hmm.
I want the players to do good. I want them to feel good and proud of their accomplishment or achievement for that particular game. And there's just nothing like it when you get in the locker room and all that hard work paid off. You know, it's like turning in a science project and getting a D or an F. You don't want that.
No.
You want to get a good grade on it, and that's the same way when you go in that locker room. You want a good grade, and you want the players to feel good. Let me ask you a question. Do you like to see people that you love hurt?
No, not at all.
I don't either. So that's why I get nervous.
I think my final question is actually going to ask Coach to pub his book here a little bit because, like I said, I've read it several times. Most of my friends and family have read it. And I want you to take a second to tell our listeners, I know they can pick it up here at the KSU bookstore. I know you can order it on Coach's website. If you will, just talk a brief second on your book and why you decided to write it.
Well, I wrote it because I had some people throughout the years told me that I should write a book. And then I had some coaches say that it might help us recruit. And then when we started talking about it and kicking it around, they said, well, it could be a great way to give more visibility to Kennesaw State University. And so with all that, in your mind, we made the decision to do that. And then the thing that I hear all the time, Jeff, is it's a good read. People will say it's a good read. It's a 199-page book about my life. And I think it's interesting. Kyle Wellingston, the gentleman that wrote the book, helped me write it. I did 350 pages of material. And then he said, I told him to condense it to 200 pages. And then he called me back about a month later, and he said, Coach, we got to make this 250 pages. And I said, no, I want 200 pages. Then he called me back, and he said, Coach, we got to go 225 pages. He said, just too much good stuff, Coach. He said, just a lot of things. And I said, no, 200. But the thing that I hear, number one, it's a good read. It's a quick read. It's entertaining. Two, it made everyone almost says it made me laugh. It made me cry. And then the third one, they always say this needs to be a movie. And so whatever happens. But I've had some interesting comments from people where I know that it's benefited their life, and that's what my purpose was. Number one, I wanted to write a book where it could help somebody in their life. Number two, help us recruit. And number three, break even. So the little person that's listening, get out your little money and just go to TonyIngle.com. And that's it. That's the only place you can, we got the bookstore here at Kennesaw and a bookstore in my hometown. And then TonyIngle.com. I could put it on Amazon. I could go to Barnes & Noble. But I have the rights to that. And just so you know, there's nothing 100% right now. But I have spent some time with a Hollywood producer about a potential movie. And that's at the very early stages, and that's about all I can say at this point in time. But if anything is released later on, it would be done the right way through Scott Lipsky of our SID department. But right now, the early stages of, I finally got some people to sit me down and talk to me and said, you need to listen to this guy. So that's where that is. But I think it can help somebody in their life. That's why. Because here's why. One, I was born born deformed. I had a face deformity. And I've had 5 face operations, so I know what it's like to feel ugly and to go throughout my childhood, with a disfigured face. In the 5th grade, I flunked the 5th grade and had to see my friends move on. And that was tough on me, flunking the 5th grade. My face had some problems, and I missed a lot of days, but I made a lot of F's, and back then it was a little different. But my friends moved on. So I know what it's like to feel dumb. And then I had to get my 8th grade year. I had to didn't have no tennis shoes to go out for the basketball team. So I got a tennis shoe out of a locker at a high school where I was helping the custodian clean out the lockers. And I found a 10.5 on the right foot. Then I fished another tennis shoe out of a dumpster, which was a left, and it was in white Converse tennis shoes. I don't know if y'all ever saw a white Converse tennis shoe. But I played my freshman year in high school with a 9 on the left foot and a 10.5 on the right. I sneak up behind people. I didn't get too many steals that year. They could hear it slapping the floor. But those things. And then my daddy, and I love him to death, but he whipped me trying to get me to quit school. Mm-hmm. And then I tore my knee up in Hudson, Kansas, and they said I wouldn't walk again. I had the best record in the region in track. I won the 880 in region and had the 3rd best time in the state, and I was supposed to run the state meet. And my coach called and said, Tony, I'm sorry. You're supposed to went down yesterday. So I've had my share of adversity. The main one is not having my job at BYU. And I went 0-19, and they let me go, and then threw me on the street with no meat. But then I came back, and every situation, I always come back. And I don't let what things knock me down. I come back. So the point being is that's what the book's about. It's sort of like it ain't no rags to riches because I'm not rich, but it's a triumph. It's coming over. It's keeping your dream. It's still being positive, optimistic. Look for the good in what's going on. We have a lot to be proud of in this country. Too many people are griping about what's going on in the country, and I know we got its issues, but we got a lot to be proud of as well. Brandon and Carter and Jeff, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on with us, and we hope to have you on maybe during the school year as the basketball season goes on. Coach Tony Ingle joining the big show. We thank him.